The Hawaiian Islands are a vision of paradise. Azure waters lap at pristine beaches, while lush volcanic peaks pierce a vibrant sky. On April 28, 1988, Aloha Airlines Flight 243 was soaring over this idyllic landscape. But on this day, paradise would be interrupted. Suddenly, at 24,000 feet, a deafening roar ripped through the cabin. A large section of the fuselage had torn away. The cabin depressurized with explosive force. The catastrophic failure that struck Flight 243 was rooted in a phenomenon known as metal fatigue. The aircraft, while routinely maintained, was nearly 2 decades old and had accumulated a significant number of flight cycles. This constant pressurization and depressurization, like inflating and deflating a balloon, had taken a toll on the aircraft's aluminium skin. The Hawaiian climate, while idyllic for tourists, was unforgiving to aircraft. The humid, salt-laden air accelerated corrosion, weakening the aircraft's structure over time. Tiny cracks, invisible to the naked eye, had begun to form and propagate along the fuselage, particularly around the rivets that held the skin together. These cracks, exacerbated by the corrosive environment, had gone undetected during routine inspections. The investigation would later reveal that the existing inspection methods were inadequate to detect such microscopic flaws, especially in aging aircraft. The industry had not yet fully grasped the insidious nature of metal fatigue and its potential for catastrophic consequences. Flight 243 would tragically expose this vulnerability. The failure occurred with such violence that it was as if the sky itself had reached down and ripped open the aircraft. A gaping hole extending from just behind the cockpit to the front of the wings exposed the cabin to the elements. Passengers were met with a deafening roar as the wind, traveling at hundreds of miles per hour, tore through the cabin. Clarabelle C.B. Lansing, a veteran flight attendant, was standing near the galley collecting rubbish from passengers. When the fuselage ripped open, the force of the decompression ejected her from the aircraft. She was never seen again. The other flight attendant, Michelle Honda, was strapped into her jump seat in the rear of the aircraft. She suffered a concussion and was pinned to the floor by a galley door that had been ripped from its hinges. Passengers were thrown from their seats, their belongings scattered by the wind. Oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling, but at that altitude, the thin air offered little protection against hypoxia. The inside of the aircraft, once a haven of comfort, was now a wind tunnel, a terrifying testament to the raw power of nature. In the cockpit, Captain Robert Schornstheimer and First Officer Madeline Mimi Tompkins were battling to maintain control. The sudden decompression had violently rocked the aircraft. Alarms blared and warning lights flashed. Facing a maelstrom of noise and chaos, they struggled to comprehend what had just happened. Schornstheimer, a seasoned pilot with thousands of hours of flying experience, instinctively took control. He fought the aircraft's tendency to roll over, his hands working the controls with practiced precision. Tompkins, despite being bombarded by debris and struggling to hear over the wind, began to run through the emergency checklists. Their first priority was to get the aircraft down to a breathable altitude. The Boeing 737, now resembling a wounded bird, was losing altitude rapidly. Schornstheimer initiated an emergency descent, aiming for Kahului Airport on the island of Maui, the closest suitable landing strip. Section 5 Emergency Landing in Maui. The descent was agonizingly slow for those on board. The wind howled through the mangled fuselage, whipping hair and clothing and snatching at anything not secured. The roar of the wind was deafening, making communication nearly impossible. Passengers clung to their seats, their hearts pounding in unison with the shuddering airframe. As Flight 243 approached Maui, the crew faced another challenge, landing a critically damaged aircraft. The open fuselage had significantly disrupted the plane's aerodynamics, making it difficult to control. Schornsteimer, relying on his instincts and years of experience, managed to line up the aircraft with the runway. The landing was rough, the aircraft bouncing once before screeching to a halt. The emergency slides were deployed and passengers, many in shock and some with serious injuries, evacuated the mangled aircraft. On the tarmac, emergency responders rushed to assist the injured, their faces a mixture of disbelief and relief. Flight 243, against all odds, had landed. Section 6. Aftermath and Investigation. The aftermath of the incident revealed the true extent of the damage and the miracle of the survival of so many. Of the 94 souls on board, there was one fatality. Clarabelle Lansing, her loss cast a pall over the miraculous survival of the others. 65 others sustained injuries ranging from minor cuts and bruises to serious trauma. The National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, launched a full-scale investigation. The wreckage of Flight 243 was meticulously examined, pieces laid out like a macabre jigsaw puzzle. The investigators, using electron microscopes and other sophisticated tools, were determined to understand what had caused this catastrophic failure. The investigation would take months, but the initial findings were startling. The primary cause of the incident was determined to be metal fatigue exacerbated by the corrosive operating environment. The microscopic cracks hidden beneath the surface had spread undetected, weakening the fuselage until it could no longer withstand the stress of pressurization. Section 7. A wake-up call for aviation. The incident sent shockwaves through the aviation industry. It was a stark reminder that even the most routine flights could turn deadly in an instant. The industry, long focused on preventing pilot error, had to confront a new reality. Aging aircraft posed a significant safety risk. The NTSB's final report, released a year later, contained a series of scathing recommendations. It called for more rigorous inspection procedures, particularly for aging aircraft. New technologies, such as eddy current testing, were to be implemented to detect hidden cracks. The report also highlighted the need for better training for maintenance personnel and more stringent oversight by regulatory agencies. The industry listened. In the wake of the disaster, airlines around the world began implementing the NTSB's recommendations. New maintenance protocols were adopted and inspection intervals were shortened. The incident had exposed a critical weakness in the aviation safety net, and the industry was determined to ensure that such a tragedy would not happen again. Section 8. Courage Under Pressure. The story of Aloha Airlines Flight 243 is not just a tale of mechanical failure and regulatory oversights, it is also a testament to human resilience and courage. The crew's actions in the face of unimaginable terror were nothing short of heroic. Captain Schornsteimer and First Officer Tompkins, despite facing a situation that had never been contemplated in their training, remained calm and focused. They worked together seamlessly, their every action guided by their training and experience. Their ability to maintain control of a critically damaged aircraft while simultaneously managing the psychological impact of the event was a testament to their professionalism and skill. The passengers, too, displayed remarkable courage. Facing their own mortality, they helped one another, comforting the injured and sharing oxygen masks. Their resilience in the face of such terror is a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure even the most harrowing experiences. Section 9. Legacy of Flight 243. Aloha Airlines Flight 243 remains a landmark event in aviation history. The image of the mangled aircraft, its fuselage peeled back like a sardine can, is forever etched in the public's consciousness. The incident, while tragic, forced the aviation industry to confront its vulnerabilities and take concrete steps to improve safety. The legacy of Flight 243 lives on in the countless lives saved by the safety improvements implemented in its wake. It serves as a constant reminder that vigilance, innovation, and a commitment to safety are essential to maintaining the public's trust in air travel. And it stands as a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome even the most daunting challenges.